สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning, everyone. Welcome everyone to announcement of the first quarter of the financial performance of Thai Oil Company Limited. And myself, Tharika Thaipasamathiya, and on my right hand side, คุณนัทพลนพรัตน์วงศ์ uh, IR Manager, and on my left hand side is คุณนันทกาบำรุงสุขสวัสดิ์ IR Analyst. And so we start with for the first one. In the first quarter, we can say that it is a perfect storm. It means at the beginning of the year, as we know that the IMO announced the new regulation of the IMO spec for the fuel oil. That means every refinery prepare for that. But in the beginning of the year, we face another unsound situation that impact on the demand side, like the COVID situation. That means its impact on the global economic growth that shrink to 3%. And for Thai oil, the GDP is expected to lower from the previous expectation around 7%. That means for the global oil demand is expected to decline around 3 million barrels per day. For the supply side, as we know that we face on the oil price war that start in March, we face for the failure of the OPEC Plus agreement, and then follow in April there is a production cut deal around $3 million. That means the oil price start to plummet start in March. Then for the equity market side, we can see that it triggered the circuit break for several countries for many times. Like in Thailand, we trigger the circuit break 2 times. For the fixed income market side is also the U.S. Treasury also reduce the rate from 1.5% to nearly 0%. That is overall for the supply and demand, and also the equity and fixed income market side. That's a global view. And what impact to Thai oil? For the Thai oil, as we know that after we face to the COVID situation and also the oil price cut, it means we have huge stock loss in Q1. The oil price dropped from around $65 per barrel in December last year. It's lower to around 35 or $34 per barrel in March. That means we have a huge stock loss in first quarter. It's around $445 million in first quarter. And also, even we face to the oil price drop and stock loss, that is also the one-time hit. But we have the benefit from the low oil price that also set from the high level to the lower level. That means we have the working capital in our cash flow. And moreover, for the project that impact from the COVID, we have the big project that that is a greenfield project or CFP. CFP now we construct at the Sriracha site. The progress up to now is around 35% progress, but it delayed from the plan that we planned before. The construction that we have in many countries in Italy, South Korea, and also UAE, that also locked down by COVID. It means the equipment that we procure or construct in that site, it will delay. So it means the payment for milestone, it will delay from this year to next year is around 2 or 3 million USD. But for the completion date for CFP is also the same period. It's a Q1 2023. And for the funding side, due to the COVID, the previous AGM that we set is in April. Is delayed to June. Is also we also have the meeting of the AGM yesterday. So it means we can raise fund already. We issued a new bond. The bond that we issue now is 1 billion. That we announced in the Bloomberg yesterday. 1 billion we have 2 tranches. The first tranche is 400 million is a coupon rate around 2.5% is 10-year tenure, and another one is a 600 million is a 3.75% coupon tenure is 30 years. We can say that for the 10-year bond coupon rate is the lowest coupon for 10 years Thai company, and for the 30 years it's the lowest coupon after the start of COVID situation. So it means it's very good rate for Thai oil that we issue the bond in this period. So and then I will move on to the crisis response during the crisis of COVID. Company also focus on the three areas. The first area is the people. So for the people, we have the iCovid Center, we have work from home scheme, and also many things that we launched for the people for Thai Oil, because we aim that we have zero incident for the COVID for the people of Thai Oil, both in the back office in Bangkok and also in the site at Sriracha. And the second one is business excellence. Even we face on the COVID, the production and also the commercial have to run as the normal. For the production, we try to optimize air intake by selected crude, and also the optimize the production, like as you know that after lockdown, the demand for jet and also gasoline is reduced very much. So we try to optimize to reduce jet to gas oil, and also the gasoline. We also upgrade that to the aromatic. That we have another plant that you know that is a TPX that produce the aromatic that are more value for this situation, and also the cost control. And we visit the CAPEX plan. The cost control, some costs that normal is happen in a normal situation like training or like a traveling, it will be reduced. So it means this cost we think and also cut that from the budget, because we have to handle the low cost during this period. And also for the liquidity, we have to monitor and also keep the cash as much as we can, because of during the crisis. If we have the cash, it means we can run the normal situation, we can run the normal operation. And the third thing that we also prepare ourselves to rebound. Now we in Q2 and situation is now rebounded. So it means now we prepare ourselves from the first quarter and until to this quarter to make the thing prepare and prompt to start operation and flexible for the crude selection and optimize the plant, and then continue to grab the higher margin during the rebound period. Then I will move on before I move to Kunataka for the performance. I will wrap up for the first quarter. For the first quarter, as I mentioned before, that because of the Dubai price is lower from the around $65 per barrel to $35 per barrel, we have huge stop loss. And also the market GRM. Market GRM is reduced much from around 2.7 last quarter to around 0.1 for the first quarter. The impact for the margin is because of the weak middle distillate, because of the jet and also gas oil, gasoline, and also the gasoline during the COVID lockdown, the city lockdown. But we will gain a bit from the improved high sulfur fuel oil spread. And for the market GIM, we can see that the contribution, we get contribution more from TPX and Thai Lube base. That the integrated unit for Thai oil. The GIM will report 2.1% lower from last quarter. That will report around 4.4%. The main decrease is from Thai oil. And then we move to the next slide. Even we have faced to the unstable situation for the operation, we can maintain the utilization rate for the refinery, aromatic and base oil. For the market, we can capture the market. We can sell for the local and Indochina at the same level. But if we move to the financial, for the credit rating, you can see that it's revised down from Moody, S&P, and Fitch. For this situation, for the industry, everyone revised everyone was revised down by credit rating agency. But after that, we believe that it will pick up and everything will get to the more normal. So for the first quarter, Thai oil record the loss. The main is from the stock loss. We report a loss around 14,000 million baht. The main reason is from the stock loss that I been mentioned before. So I will move you to Kunantaka. She will explain more about the performance in Q1.
So for the performance highlight in Q1, I will start with the refinery business unit first. In the top left graph shows the Thai oil and domestic refinery utilization rate. So you can see that in Q1, we still maintain the high run rate at 111%, although it's lower a bit from Q4. That because of we are facing with the COVID-19 pandemic, but we still run at a high level, and it's if you compare with the domestic refinery, it's above other domestic refinery at 92%. So in terms of the domestic oil demand in the upper right graph shows that the domestic oil demand was contracted around 5.3% year on year. So it is mainly because of the jet and kerosene. So the jet which was heavily affected by the worldwide flight cancellation. So you can see that around contracted by almost 20% year on year. However, we still maintain the domestic sale at a high level. As you can see in Q1, we still sell in the domestic market at 89% and 11% to export. So that 11%, please be noted that we sell majority to the developing country, around 9%. So because of the Indochina, we also implemented the import practice scheme as the domestic. And we leave only 2% to export to the Singapore market. Next, it will be the refinery margin. So you can see that in Q1, we recorded refinery margin at $0.1 per barrel, significantly lower Q1Q from Q4, and even lower than the full year average last year, $3.1 per barrel. That was mainly because of weak product spread, both of the gasoline and bitter distillate crack. As you can see from the upper table, it's lower because of the flight. For example, jet, it was affected by the worldwide flight cancellation, and the gasoline was affected by the lockdowns in the country. However, in this quarter, we still face the huge stop loss around minus $12.3 per barrel. That's mainly because of the crude oil price plummet more than $30 per barrel from the supply situation that was very nasty. If you compare with the oil demand was curbed by the COVID-19 pandemic. So if you move on to the next business unit, aromatic business unit, in terms of the aromatic production rate, we still run at high at 81%. That was improved from Q4 because we have the better optimization between our refinery and petrochemical plants in order to maximize aromatic production during the weak gasoline product spread. So if you can see, both paraxylene and benzene spread product spread was improved Q1Q because of the low feedstock cost tracking with the lower gasoline product, and also the lower supply from the refinery run cut globally. That's P2F margin reported at higher around $85 per ton, and the GIN contribution was around $1.5 per barrel, almost double from the Q4. Next, it would be the base oil business unit. In terms of the base oil production, we optimize run at 81%, although the base oil product spread and bitumen product spread was lower a bit from Q4. That mainly because of the high feedstock costs tracking with the high sulfur fuel oil product. Also, the demand side was affected by by the COVID-19 pandemic as well. So in Q1, we report P2F margin from lube base oil at $86 per ton, and in terms of the GIM contribution was lower to $0.6 per barrel. Even though it's lower than the Q before, but it's still at a healthy level. So in sum of three main business units, refinery, aromatics, and lube base oil, so you can see that upper left graph shows the gross refinery margin of the refinery. So in Q1, it's lower than the average in the past at around $0.1 per barrel, and we had inventory loss around $12.3 per barrel. So the accounting GIM was $12.2 per barrel. However, we see some sign of improvement of the GIM in Q2, mainly because of the benefit from the lower crude stock, especially the Middle East crude grade. And rather than only the GIM, we still have the margin on top of the GIM from two business units of aromatic and lube base oil, another $2 per barrel on top. So that's why we report the market GIM at $2.1 per barrel. And if you compare with the group cash cost right-hand side, our operating cost only $1.7 per barrel. So it is lower than the core market GIM. It's meaning that in terms of the core operation, we still have gain in the EBITDA side. However, if you include the huge stock loss in Q1, so it's still the net loss. Next, other than three main business units, we still have power sector, which always contribute stable income to our Thailand group that is, could help mitigate the volatility of three main business units. So under the power business sector, there are two types. The first one is under our own operation. We have two companies to operate the small power producers program. And also we have the equity holding in the GPSC. In this quarter, in Q1, contribution from power sector contribute to our group around 586 million baht, which was higher than the Q4. That was mainly because of the higher profit sharing from the GPC. That because of the fully consolidation of the Globe after their acquisition. So next is the performance breakdown by business unit. In the table, you can see that the petroleum sector contributed net loss to our group in the first quarter. That mainly because of weak product spread, as we mentioned before. However, petrochemical and lube base oil and power sector contributes gain to Thai Group. And for other business, it's improved quite sizable. That mainly because of the ethanol BU, which we had a higher utilization as well as the better contribution from the rising ethanol demand and also alcohol during the COVID-19. However, we had a stop loss, so the consolidated net profit was reported as a net loss of 13.7 billion baht. So in the next slide, shows the Thai Oil Group consolidated profit and loss statement. As you can see in the first quarter, our EBITDA was reported as net loss around 12.2 billion baht loss. That because of we have huge inventory loss plus the write-down on the inventory. All in all, from those inventory loss and around 14 billion baht. So if you exclude those things, so our EBITDA should be the net gain. However, in this quarter, we still have the net loss on the fair value measurement of the financial instrument in accordance with the IFRS number 9, around minus 377 million baht. That was mainly from the unrealized loss of the commodity hedging for the full year. And in terms of the foreign currency loss, we had lost around 2.3 billion Thai baht. that was mainly from the loss on the translation loss of the USD debt that we had because of in this quarter Thai baht weakened quite a lot, around 2.5 baht per USD. And that's in total we reported net loss at 13.4 billion baht. So next, it would be the consolidated cash flow of Thai Oil. So in this slide, you can see that our operating cash flow was a negative around 4 billion baht. It was mainly because of in this quarter we had a stock loss and huge NRV. So we had a net loss of 14 billion baht. However, during the low crude oil price environment, we can have the gain on the saving of the working capital requirement. So in this quarter, we had around 3.2 billion baht gain. And in terms of the investment activities, we had the cash outflow around 33 billion Thai baht. That was mainly because of the cash outflow from the capex spending around 14.6 billion baht. And another thing is the short-term investment. It is the cash out to invest in the short-term investment. This is the part of the liquidity management in order to enhance the yield of the surplus cash. So for the free cash flow, it have a negative around 37 billion baht. So that I would like to say, I would say that is a short-term impact of the COVID-19. So if you include the financing activity, all in all, the cash outflow was 37.8 billion baht. But if you include the short-term investment that I was mentioned, that it increased around 18 billion baht. So net the cash on hand and short-term investment was reduced only 14 billion baht. So the ending cash as at 30th of March was 62 billion baht, or is equivalent to 1.9 billion USD. Next is the financial position. Thai Oil has a strong financial position. As you can see in the upper left graph, we have total asset around 8.3 billion USD, and in terms of the cash and short-term investment, we had 1.9 billion USD. And if you're considering in terms of the debt side, we had the total interest-bearing debt around 3.8 billion USD. But if you include the cash on hand at 1.9, so the net debt only 1.9 billion USD. And our debt portfolio is mainly is the USD currency, and interest rate was already fixed. For the debt average life around is very long, it's around 15 years, and cost of debt net basis is 3.3%. In terms of financial ratios, it's still strong, even though the net debt per EBITDA is higher than the year before. That's mainly because of impacted from the COVID-19 situation. However, in terms of net debt per equity, it's still below our policy rate at one time. And in terms of the credit rating, still affirm us in terms of final rating at the investment grade of the three agencies. So lastly, in terms of the financial strategy of Thai Oil during the unprecedented COVID-19 situation, there are three main things that we're focusing on. So the first one is the efficiency and cost management. So we always take it seriously to have a cost control, and during this time, we are even more take it serious for the cost control, and because we would like to ensure that our cash cost would be in the competitive level. So we have the program under the shared cost loss gone. By this program, we would like to reduce the OPEX by the 20 to 30%. So that's why we can survive during the weak environment. And the second thing is the investment rationalization. In terms of the we will have to reprioritize the capex and also review the capex plan. And in this year, we will delay the capex spending from the original plan at 2.2 billion this year to be only 1.8 billion USD. Around 400 will be delayed and will be spent in the next 2 years. That may be because of the delay of the equipment delivery of some of the safety projects during COVID-19. And lastly, in terms of the liquidity management and fundraising, during the weak environment, it's resulting in the negative of the operating cash flow. So we will ensure both of short-term and long-term liquidity. So in the short terms, we think that we have the cash ample cash because, as I mentioned, 1.9 billion USD is quite enough for the CapEx spending this year. However, in terms of the long-term financing, we do the bond raising, as Kutukan mentioned, after we got the approval from the EGM of the credit line extension of bond instrument. So that's roughly complete my presentation on the financial part. Next, I would like to hand over to Kunatapon to talk about the industry outlook.
And the final part is the industrial look before we move on to Q&A session. I'll briefly talk about the crude oil market outlook and GRM, aromatics and base oil market. Let me start with the oil market. Actually, the crude oil price hit the bottom in April and averaged around $20 per barrel. So it's lower from March at $34 per barrel. And since then, I would say it's been a very strong commitment from key producing players in the market. So OPEC Plus and other G20 members are committed to cut production by roughly 15 million barrels per day. And just recently announced to extend the cut from June to July. So the market in July is expected to be quite tight. And on the demand side, at the beginning of the outbreak, the product demand collapsed significantly. In April, I would say that it went down by almost 30 million barrels per day, or 1/3 of the global oil consumption. And on average, after 2020, oil demand could drop by as high as 9 million barrels per day. But as more countries started to reopen the city and economies, so we will see a very sharp rebound in oil demand in some countries. And as you can see from the balance of the supply demand on the bottom left chart, admittedly in the second quarter, inventory will continue to build because the significant drop in oil demand. But as we move on to the second half of the year, we'll start to see inventory drawdown from that very high level in the second quarter. So that will indicate that the oil price should start to stabilize. So in the 30 to 35 range of dollar per barrel, if there's no second wave of the COVID-19 to hit the oil demand again in the second half. And on the Singapore GRM, actually, Singapore GRM has been under pressure since the peak of the outbreak. So as you can see that Singapore GRM turned to be negative in the second quarter, but I would say that this only take the product spread into account. But on the real GRM that all refineries will receive is the net of the crude discount that we will get in the second half that I will mention later. If we start with the impact on the product side in the second quarter, the peak was around April, and it will be in the region of the 25 to 30 million barrels per day of oil demand drop. And we see a lot of impact on jet fuel because all the airlines stopped their operations internationally. And also on gasoline, many countries started to implement the lockdown in the key cities. and including the US, which consume a lot of gasoline. So we have a significant drop in gasoline demand as well. And coming into May and June in the second quarter, as more countries open their cities, so we see a very strong rebound in gasoline demand at this moment. And for the benefit of the GRM in the second quarter, as I mentioned, in March, the Saudi cut their premium to the discount heavily. So we will get the benefit of the discount crude premium quarter on quarter, perhaps around $6 to $7 per barrel on the Middle East crude, and that will result in a lower crude cost, around $4 to $5 per barrel. And this will help to offset the weakness in product margin. And in the end, the GRM in the second quarter is expected to be improved from the first quarter. And if you move on to the second half of the year, we still expect the demand will continue to recover, but each product will perform at a different pace. The more recovery is expected to be on the gasoline and diesel because people will prefer to use the personal car during the concern of the outbreak. And also the diesel is used to in the transportation sector and also in the industry sector. So that will help the recovery better than other products. But on jet fuel, admittedly, the demand recovery will be lag behind. So we expect in the end of the year, it will not reach the pre-COVID level. In the domestic market, similarly to the global market, in the first quarter, we experienced the biggest loss in oil demand in jet fuel. So in first quarter, we registered a loss of 17%, but on gasoline and diesel, it lost only 2 to 3%. But the recent number that we get is April. So April jet demand in Thailand dropped by 90%, and gasoline around 25%, and diesel around 10%. So for Thai oil, we try to manage the jet production. So we cut the production yield of the jet from 21% in the first quarter to below 10% to manage this situation. And we shift most of the production to diesel and also some gasoline in order to keep the run rate at a very high level. And then let me move on to aromatics market. Actually, in the first quarter, our margin from this sector was still quite healthy because some refineries that cut their run in response to lower oil demand. But coming into the second quarter and the rest of the year, because the aromatics market is still in the surplus situation, so we expect the contribution from this sector in the second half of the year could be slightly lower than the first half. And for lube-based oil, actually last year there was a lot of capacity addition, around 3 million tons per annum, but our contribution from this sector was still quite good, still improved from 2018 at 10 cents per barrel to 60 cents per barrel. So in the first quarter, we actually get the same contribution at 60 cents per barrel. But for the rest of the year, as the impact of the COVID-19 will have some pressure on oil demand and also the lubricant demand. So this will pressure the contribution from this sector a little bit in the second half. So that concludes our presentation for today. And then we move to the final session on the Q&A.
For the Q&A, we will start with the first question. The first question is what's your plan if the COVID situation drag on for a few years? This means the plan that Thai Oil will react for the business. Actually, we launched the business excellence. We will focus on the many areas like the first one for the crude supply for refinery. We will enhance the flexibility for the crude procurement to the to product to until we sell the product. Now, because of the jet and gasoline demand is lower than the normal situation, so it means we try to select the crude that may be more heavy, right? And then we can produce more the other products like gas oil and also the high sulfur fuel oil in situation because it's more margin. And also for the cost, we have like a cost control for this year and also next year. For this year, we plan to have the OPEC cut is around 20 to 30% from the normal budget that we plan. And also for the hedging, we have the strategy to hedge for the petroleum price and also the crack spread. And also for the liquidity, we try um, to to manage the liquidity and also the financial risk management. And also for the capex, we also prioritize the capex. That I mentioned before that for the CFP we have lower capex for this year, and it will spend next year around 20 to 30 200 to 300 million USD for next year. And for the other project is not much. That all the plan for the business excellence.
And the second question, the crude oil market outlook, I think we covered during the presentation. And the third question is due to crude oil price fell from crude demand, which impact from COVID outbreak. Do you think it will be increased within next year? Yeah, we cover a little bit on that as well. So with the current information, the oil demand will start to be recovering in the second half and next year. And with the control or the commitment of the OPEC Plus members, so we think the inventory will start to go down, and that will send a positive signal to oil price. And fourth question, do you have any measures to safeguard employees against COVID-19 situation as all employees return back after work from home?
Okay. For the people of now, we also established the iCovid center, as I mentioned before, to monitor the suspect case, and also we also implement the work from home that we now also some people work from home and some people work from office. And also we also launched the BCM plan or business continuity management. That means we activate the BCP crisis response team and also the communication team, and also deploy the additional working location to separate our people, and also identify substitutes or backup key people to ensure that we can run operations smoothly. And also we implement the safe house program for operation worker because we have to run 24 hours. That means we have to ensure that operation we can run smoothly and people are safe.
And question number 5 is the production capacity of petroleum in the second half of this year. I imply that the question is about the utilization of Thai oil in the second half of the year. So in the second quarter, actually we slowed down our operation a little bit to respond to the lower product demand in the country. And as product demand will continue to improve, and we end a lot of measures as we have much less cases at this moment. So gasoline, diesel, for example, would go back to the pre-COVID level in the second half. So that will indicate that we could run the refinery at higher utilization. And question number 6, please update on OPEC and CAPEX plan.
Okay. For the OPEC plan that I mentioned earlier, we have the target to reduce the OPEX around 20 to 30% for this year. And for the CAPEX plans, I will refer the investment plan, the page number 39. You can see that the project that we will spend the most money is a CFP that is the yellow highlight. That means for this year we'll spend around 1.8 billion and around 1.9 billion in the next 2 years. And we will COD on the 2023. That means that year we will get the money from the ERU that already sell to GPSC. That is the CAPEX plan, and for the other project is not much. So the CAPEX now the big spending is around 4.8 billion minus the ERU that will get money from the GPSC around 0.75 USD.
And the last question, in your opinion, how long jet demand can recover after most countries lift the lockdown? I think I will start from gasoline and diesel first because most countries will start to lift the lockdown, but it will constrain the international flights, and the jet demand is expected to be back to normal that's in 2021.
So that's all for the question for today. If you have more questions, you can contact directly to IR team at email or call. So we end the session for today, and thank you very much everyone for joining the session. สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you.